Hell yeah. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Piki from Piki's Craft Corium. This is Bree.
Hi.
I'm gonna let her introduce herself, but I'm really excited not only to meet with her today, but to interview her and her perspective on mental health. She is a mental health professional. I'm very proud of her, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Okay. So I'm Bree. I've been in mental health since 2019, I believe. Yes. So I got into mental health. First started working with at-risk youth in a wraparound program, and then I'm still currently in my master's program as a school psychologist. So my goal is to work school psychology for 3 years, get my LEP, and then go back to school to be a licensed clinical professional counselor. So that's just a little bit about me.
Awesome. Okay, that actually is perfect to segue into our first question. So I'm going to ask you a little bit about your personal story. What first sparked your interest in helping people?
Oh, so obviously that's going to be my own background. As a teenager, I, was struggling with depression, struggling with feeling like I had my own demons and stuff like that, just not really feeling supported. I knew my parents loved me, but, my dad was really hard on me. My mom was more of a best friend than a parent. So I kind of just went through things as a teenager, being depressed and, ended up in counseling. I enjoyed it. And so from there, I kind of was like, I don't want anybody to ever feel the way I felt. So I knew I wanted to get somewhere in mental health. Just was never really sure where, but just, wanted to help people. But kids, I love kids. So kids is definitely like my target range.
That start, get them when they're young.
Yep.
In that, or to that point, was there like a really defining moment that can stick out to you right now that made you choose this kind of work? Like one instant that's here, like this is it, or is just the amalgamation of everything?
I think it was the acclimation of everything, and then also like being a senior in high school. It's you get to be a senior in high school, and it's like, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? So I kind of was like, yeah, I think this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Although I was, as a senior, I was in the ROP program for cosmetology, so I do have my cosmetology license as well too. But that was kind of just more of like, I'm gonna get my cosmetology license to work my way through college.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, but it's funny because even as a cosmetologist, you are a bit of a therapist too, because you're sitting, you're working with your clients, they're telling you your stories, you're getting to know them, so you kind of are a therapist in a way.
You're literally making them feel better because you're, working on
physically helping them feel better. So I kind of was just like, so I started with my BA in psychology, and then from there I kind of just teeter-tottered between like being a counselor or even school psychology. And school psychology because like I love children, I love the school setting, and I want to be able to help children. So it was between those two, and I think a little bit of my experience with working with at-risk youth, because it's very mentally taxing. And it's definitely not something I see myself doing forever, at least with the at-risk youth. So that's why I was kind of like, okay, I want to go back to school, but what do I want to do? So that's kind of why I chose like, okay, let me become a school psychologist, do that for a couple years, get my license, and then go back to school to become a licensed counselor.
I love that. Okay. What do you wish more people knew about you outside of your profession?
I don't know. I'm just a very reserved person.
You're like, what is it?
I don't know. I don't know. I have a really big, caring heart, and I'm a very empathetic person. You cry, I cry.
Hey, we're gonna cry together.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm just a very. Once you get to know me, let's just say once you get to know me, you'll understand me. You know what I mean? That's what I always say. Like just get to know me and build your own thought and opinion about me.
I love that. Hell yeah, you're awesome. That's my opinion. I'm gonna move into the next section. It's a little bit of a short interview, but our next section is mental health insights. What is one myth surrounding mental health that you would love to bust?
Okay, so when it comes to mental health, um, therapy is not for everybody. I get that. I understand that. But do I think everybody should try it? Yes. But the biggest thing when it comes to therapy is you have to be ready for it. You
Yes.
have to be ready for it and to dig deep and go into your past, but you have to remember you're in a safe space with your therapist, or you should be.
You should be.
You should at least feel comfortable with your therapist in order to go there and know that you're going to be okay.
When you face that darkness. Yeah.
Because if you're not ready for therapy, you're not going to be 100% honest, and you're going to have a guard up, and it's just, you're not going to get anywhere with it. It's not going to benefit you.
Yeah. That makes sense. I love that. It's true. You know when you're ready to go, and realistically, I've said it before in my other like little chats, but as an individual, not only do you have to be ready to get the help, but to face your darkest.
You really
shit.
have to be ready to literally look yourself in the mirror.
Yeah. And it's not always going to be pretty.
It's not, and I think if you can look yourself in the mirror and just, like, okay, I did that, I fucked up. Like, just take accountability.
Yes.
Take accountability.
Yes. I'm worth making this better. I'm worth working on myself.
And only for yourself. Only do it for yourself.
Nobody
I
else.
get that there's, marriage therapy.
Yeah.
There's marriage therapy, but again, those people both have to be willing to want to do it.
It won't work if, I get you. That makes sense. How do you help people feel more open to therapy, or like what tools kind of just to make them feel safer?
Let's see. That can be hard because, like,
Based on the individual,
you know or see people that you think therapy would benefit them, but there's some people that are really like, therapy's not for me, or even if they have or haven't tried it, sometimes if they have tried it, they just haven't found the right therapist, or if they have tried it, also because they're not ready for it. But also it is a cultural thing too. Like, not every culture is like,
so
hey,
accepting.
therapy, hey, mental health. Black, Mexicans, maybe Indians too. Like, those are cultures where it's like, no, like, we're just gonna push through it. We don't have mental health. You know what I mean? So, I think speaking from your experience can help. But the thing is too, you never want to push that on somebody. Kind of just hey, this was my experience, and if they want to try it,
for what your experience is.
If they want to try it, they can try it.
Okay. In your opinion, what small things can people do daily for better mental health? You're like, there's so many things.
Yeah, there's so many things.
And
honestly,
it depends on the person.
I think what it really comes down to is loving yourself and just kind of building on that. Like, for me, like, if it was up to me, I probably would have just came in like super comfy clothes, like sweats or something, because that's just me. That's my natural habitat. I love to be comfy, but you know what? That's one of the things I try to do for myself is get ready for myself, to feel good about myself. You know what I mean? Doing things for yourself, learning to be comfortable being alone with yourself, whether that's going out to eat by yourself, going out to shop by yourself, just anything.
Taking a walk.
Yeah, just
going for a hike.
Really learn to be comfortable with yourself.
That's important because you live with yourself. There's no other person you're with 100% like you are with yourself. So it's definitely an important piece to.
And I think that's the foundation to just making yourself feel better, is being with yourself and learning about yourself and just feeling comfortable with yourself, loving yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, I lost my spot. In terms of human connection, what's a meaningful lesson you've learned from others? And this could be professional or personal.
Human connection. What have I learned from others? Is there any more specifics to that?
No, I mean, it's kind of like a general.
When I think of that question, I think of like, you're always going to come across multiple personalities throughout your lifetime. And I think through those interactions from those multiple personalities, you learn and you take something from it each time. So you come more like versatile and diverse in people you do meet down the road maybe. But it's just, I don't know, I think it's just learning to kind of step back and understand where people are coming from, or just not take it to heart. Um, but honestly, like, I always try to learn something from every person I come into contact with, whether they're an asshole or
Yeah.
whatever, or you know what I mean? Because
There's always a
I
lesson to
think
be
you
learned.
should know how to work with and interact different personalities.
For sure. It's healthy. Um, how important is community or friendship in terms of mental wellness?
I think it's very important, but what's even more important is knowing who you're safe with,
I
knowing
agree.
who you can trust. Like for me, I'm like introverted kind of. There's a new one that they have. It's between introvert and extrovert.
I probably
I
fall in
forgot what it's called.
there.
I forgot exactly what it's called. Um, but I feel like I'm right there because like I can be around people and it's fun, but it does drain me at the same time.
Yeah.
But that's more of like big groups. I'm more of like a one-on-one
Yes.
person. Like I love just that one-on-one experience, just connecting with somebody because I feel like in groups people kind of try to like be somebody they're not at times,
Yeah.
or just kind of do things they're like, oh, look at me, or impress
Yeah.
or stuff. At least I feel like when you're one-on-one with somebody, you can be authentic with them, and I feel more comfortable being with somebody one-on-one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just
It's more of a quality conversation. Also depending
yeah.
on the individual, but
Uh-huh.
definitely in terms of quality, it's you don't have all the noise.
Yeah,
All the small
but it's
talk.
it's definitely, even if it's just one person, that's fine. At least you have somebody you can, feel safe with. Or if it's a group of people, even better. Like my group of people is going to be like my dad and my sister.
Yeah.
That's my group of people.
Yeah. As long as you have that they're your community and that
Mhm.
counts. I love that. How because we talked about you being trained as an introvert, how do you personally recharge?
I personally recharge by I have two dogs, which I love very much. They're 13 and 10, Harley and Alvis. And so, me to just go home and get comfy and relax with them, that's me recharge. Just being by myself in my home, really. That's my recharge. And then
Yeah.
also, like, part of that recharge is like cleaning my house and feeling extra comfortable. So that's just kind of my recharges. I like
Your
to
alone
be-
time.
My alone time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Like you need to read. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're like, let me plug myself in.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm comfortable with being alone. So
beautiful.
that's what makes it even more like, nice. Let me recharge by myself.
And I think as you get older, it's so much easier to feel comfortable because as you're growing up, you tend to kind of give into that fake loneliness. And you want to be surrounded by people, but you
And then when you're growing up, for most people, you have a whole family unit.
yeah,
So, but not everybody comes from that. It might
Yeah.
be single mom, single dad, and the kid.
super small. Yeah, kids at home alone, mom has to work, all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
Makes sense. Um, looking forward in life, if you could design your dream mental health project, what would that look like?
I would have a whole facility.
Everybody's coming.
I would have a whole facility, for me, and especially because I said kids are my target. It would range from like play therapy, talk therapy, just all kinds of, just be very diverse in my therapies and the ways I approach it with the kids. Because the one thing with therapy is you could try a type of therapy with them, but that might not be for them. So
Yeah.
you might need to try something else. So just tailor it.
Yeah.
So have
It's
it
not a
unique.
one-size-fits-all. Yeah, fits all, yeah.
Have it unique to somebody.
Okay. I like that. So we're gonna look forward to that facility, okay?
One day.
One day. Where do you see the mental health field heading soon? Like what innovations are out there, or new, not even diagnosis, but processes on supporting and all of that.
Mental health has definitely had an increase. Um, what's hard about it too, I feel like, is some people use it in the wrong way. Kind of like trying to just, I'm going to play the mental health card. type of thing,
Yeah.
when there's actually real people out there that really do suffer from real mental health. So in that sense, those people that are misusing it are putting a stigma on it,
That makes sense.
which is unfortunate. But it is, increasing. They do say there is a lack of therapists out there because it's such a growing field, and it
Yeah.
makes sense that there would be such a lack.
Because of the demand.
Yeah, but I think they're definitely. It's just hard too because it's like you know you can't force somebody to get the help. You can't force somebody to pull themselves out of depression. Like everything with that is like they gotta want it for themselves and
Yeah.
only themselves.
Yeah. That makes sense. Um, this is my last question for you.
Okay.
What keeps you? Well, it's going to be my second to last question. What
Okay.
keeps you inspired to keep doing this work?
I think honestly, if I'm being honest, it's my own life experiences. We're all unique to our own life experiences, and I've gone through some things that maybe I felt like, how am I going to pull myself out of this? You know, like I shared with you earlier, having suicidal ideations. Um, so I think just having my own experiences and even maybe going through experiences with others, that's what drives me. And like I said, I love kids. So just knowing like you're so young, you're so fragile, you still have your whole life ahead of you. Like
I want to
that's
protect you.
that's what drives me too, is like they still have their whole lives ahead of them. And just because there might be this mountain that we feel like we can't climb, hopefully with that right support, we can get over that together, or they can get over that.
Yeah, I love that. I'm just gonna make this one up off the top of my head. Is there anything that, in general, like I know that we asked outside of your profession what you wish people knew about you, but like to sign off, I guess, what are your final thoughts in terms of, or what's your message for the people?
My message is I feel like there's a growing generation of not being themselves. I heard this quote the other day, and it was, more related to like the dating world, but I see it just in general is people are trying to market themselves and get a quick sell.
Yeah.
So like, and this goes back to loving yourself. You got to love yourself for who you are, and people will see that.
Absolutely.
And it's just sad to me that people are trying to present themselves as somebody that they're not. Like, then that means you don't know yourself.
Yeah.
You don't know who you are. And
And you're not
then
comfortable sharing that.
then that's where I feel like that mental health plays a role too, because you're just trying to be somebody you're not, or trying to present to somebody as you're not. And so I just wish more people would learn to love themselves and just be themselves and be okay with, they're either going to like me or they're not. And for me, that just comes with my life experiences of, well, they're going to like me for who I am or they're not.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. We won't get into how we met, but I will say that I feel very blessed to know you.
Thank you.
I am glad that you reached out to me first, and
Blessing in disguise.
yes, honestly, because I feel like you're such a cool person. You're not trying to be a cool person. You are just a cool person.
Thank you.
And authentic and genuine, and you made it so easy not only to be myself with you and to share like little tidbits of my life now and then, but you made it very easy to foster a true friendship, and I appreciate that because I'm at the age and stage where like my friendships are of quality. I have very few friends, and I know who I can count on, and I appreciate you being one of my very good friends.
It's not about how many friends you have. It's who's really gonna be there and
Be real.
be real, and someone you can be safe with. And it's hard to find. I feel like it's hard to find just like genuine friends and stuff like that. And I'm very picky with friends because I've had my own experiences.
Of course.
Not so much positive.
Yeah.
So where I've always been just very like have a guard up
Yeah.
with friends. That's something, you know, obviously I still need to work on and try with, but like with you, you know,
We
you know,
connected. It
the
was easy to
circumstances
connect.
that we
Yeah.
met under, but you know, it was, you know, it was nice. Like we actually connected, and it was easy to talk to each other. And I think, you know, we're both adults. You know, it's not like we're teenagers at
Yeah.
this. You know, so I think that's what makes a difference too. Is that, you know, meeting later on in life, being adults, and you know, experiences that we've gone through. So it's been nice to have a relationship with you and continue building a relationship with you.
I agree. I thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right, I'm gonna sign off. Thank you so much, and again, thank you. I appreciate you carving out time because I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Period. All right.
Thank
Bye, guys.
you.